Welcome to SoCal Tech Interviews, where we talk with investors, entrepreneurs, and others in Southern California's high-tech industry. Our interview today is with Minnie Ingersoll, a venture capitalist at TenOneTen Ventures. I'm Ben Quo, founder and editor of SoCalTech.com.
My name's Minnie Ingersoll. I grew up here in Southern California in Pasadena and have been in the Bay Area for a number of years and just became a new partner at TenOneTen Ventures, an early stage seed investor here in Southern California.
And what were you doing before?
A few things, but mostly I started my own company in 2013. Started my own startup called Shift.com. It's an online marketplace for buying and selling used cars, and so I've been going through the startup journey, and we just finished our Series D investment, and so it was possible for me to take a step back and relocate, actually.
Why did you decide to go into venture capital?
It's a good question. So most of what I did at Shift, when we went from 0 to 200 people in like 2 years, a lot of what I was doing was just meeting with great people. My job was hiring people. And I love meeting people who are at the forefront of like exciting work. And I'm a really big believer that like one of the things that really gives me faith in our country, excitement about the state of our nation, is the innovation that is going on everywhere throughout our country and sort of the innovative spirit. And so I wanted to play a part of that.
Talk about TenOneTen. What kind of investments do you guys make?
Sure. Well, we do early stage investing. So that could be pre-seed, that could be seed, that could be seed plus, A minus, whatever you want to call it. And we write checks sort of $500K to $1 million. And we like to fund engineers turned entrepreneurs. That's probably the easiest way of saying it. We all have backgrounds in tech. And so that's just what we understand the best. So sometimes I say, if there's sort of a spectrum and brand is your moat, and you're a direct-to-consumer, brand is your moat, versus you've really got some IP, technology is your moat. We're playing on this side of the spectrum. We're not frontier tech necessarily exclusively, but we are definitely on that side of the spectrum.
What do you look for in entrepreneurs?
Probably the biggest thing is the ability to sell. And that it's not to be a salesperson necessarily, but to sell me on the vision and help then I need to have the belief that not only do you know what the vision is and you can get me excited and get other people excited about that, but that you're gonna be willing to dedicate all of your blood, sweat, and tears to making that vision a reality. And as far as that goes, I just think the vision and the selling is for investors, that is for hiring, that's for customers, and so that's just a really core skill.
What was the hardest part of getting Shift off the ground when you were an entrepreneur?
So much was hard of being at a startup, and I'm still really new. It was incredibly, it has been quite exceeding my expectations, successful, and yet incredibly hard. I think the hardest thing for me just generally is that emotional resilience. And that's not any one thing, but we did ups and downs. I mean, we were up and to the right like a roller coaster. We had to do a RIF, a layoff at one point early in our career, and I thought that we were done. And I was losing sleep. I was pulling my hair out. I mean, multiple different times. And we just had to keep going. And so just that emotional resilience of you need to have something that you care so much about that you're willing to keep going through the downs.
So how do you deal with that as an entrepreneur with all these ups and downs?
I mean, different people have different techniques. For me, one of my big things is being able to name it and talk to people about it has been incredibly helpful. Some of our times, like we had some tough times where I talked to our board about things, and just being able to say, I think we're gonna have to do a layoff, and having my board members say to me, well, lots of companies go through this. And to some degree, she was so deminimizing of my incredible stress that it gave me a lot of comfort. It's not such a big deal once I'm able to talk about something. And so sometimes for me, just talking through things has been incredibly useful. getting a good night's sleep and just being able to go to bed every night knowing I did as much as I could, but still going to bed and not then completely losing sleep and having my health suffer.
Well, what's the most exciting part of technology that you've seen in the last few years? What excites you as an investor?
That's a good question. My most recent investment was actually in a direct-to-consumer genetic testing company, and I think the world of health is so interesting right now because there's so much we don't understand, but that we are increasingly understanding. It's not I don't have a lot of depth there, but looking for great entrepreneurs who really understand what's possible. Our healthcare system needs fixing, our health needs fixing, but it's under the broader umbrella for me of how does technology help our society? And that's really the sort of stuff, like I think there's a lot of things that are broken, but I think there's a lot of potential and a lot of ability that we can really fix things, so that's what makes me excited.
Great. Well, welcome to Los Angeles, and thanks a lot for the interview.